I've got a quick story for you all. So back in high school, probably sophomore year, so I was 15 or 16, and I had signed up for this audio production class. It was the first time I'd ever really been able to make music at school. You know, we were given this program called FL Studio, and I just made music, and it was really fun. And part of this class, there was a weekly showcase where you could show off what you were making in the class, right? Like all the kids would, you know, someone made a beat or someone wanted to perform a rap song that they wrote or something like that. You know, that's what you could do. And for the longest time, I was like, no way, no shot I'm going to get up there. I was too nervous. And then probably towards the end of the first semester, I was like, you know what? I got to do it. I got to just try, you know? But I remember being so nervous when I asked my teacher, hey, can I perform something? Or not perform, but could I show off something? And he was like, yeah, go for it. And I was terrified. And for good reason, honestly. Like, you know, anytime that you get up in front of the class, anyone can relate. That could be a scary experience. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. So I played my music and, you know, heart racing, very nervous. But I distinctly remember a football player in the class. And he, after listening to it, he was like, yeah, I could see myself, you know, like listening to this walking out of the game, or, you know, like hyping myself up. And, you know, comparatively, like he was probably being like, when I think about it, he was probably being kind of nice. Because, you know, 15-year-old me probably wasn't making the best music, but still I was like, wow, that was fun. You know, I'm glad I did that. And as the next semester came and the years went on, because I took this class for several years, it became easier to share off your music. And that, I think, is something that is a very valuable thing to do, you know. And I know that's not a very unique experience. Like, everyone probably has something where they really are into it, but they might think it's kind of weird, or people might think that, oh, what if someone calls me a loser for being into this or whatever. For example, I knew a lot of people in college. I never did this, but I knew a lot of people in college that were into D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. And they were like unapologetically like, yeah, I'm super into it. I know a lot of people might think it's kind of like nerdy or weird, but I think it's cool. And I was like, you know what? I don't play D&D, but I respect that. You know, I appreciate that level of confidence and self-affirmation. And when I think about all the things that I've been into, for example, this YouTube channel, when I first started, I had the same thoughts. I was like, man, you know, what if people think I'm weird, or like they don't like the way my voice sounds, or they don't like what I'm making? It's not worth worrying what other people think about what you're doing. I mean, assuming that what you're doing is, you know, legal, you know, you're not doing anything that's like really bad. But if you're really into something like making music, making videos, show it off. Like, I really encourage you, if you have something that you've been really wanting to do, to just try it. Against the better judgment of, you know, maybe your friends and family who might think that it's weird. I know a lot of people, when they first make YouTube videos, they don't tell anyone because they don't want their friends to know, which is totally fair. I don't really tell my friends and family too directly about what I'm doing, but it's really fun when you do it. You know, I can't tell you how many sweet comments I've read. I mean, overwhelmingly so, where I'm like, wow, I did not expect this. And the reaction that you can often get from making something cool is really awesome, you know. I didn't honestly expect with my YouTube videos that people would really enjoy them as much as they are, and that's a great feeling. And so I just want to encourage that. You know, I don't want to obviously be on a high horse or preach or say like, you got to do this, but I just want to say from experience that if there is something that you want to do, it's probably worth thinking about it, right? And I know there's also something about imposter syndrome, right? Like, there's a lot of, personally, I felt a lot of social media pressure where, you know, you're constantly following these people that are hyper successful, right? You see all the best athletes, the best content creators, you know, the Mr. Beasts, the dreams of the world. And you're like, how could I ever make something that is on that level? Like, I could never, I don't want to say the term compete because it's, you know, it's a mutual thing, but I could never inhabit that same area. You look at their current work and you're like, dude, I could never make something like this. Like, I'm terrible in comparison, but you got to remember that everyone starts out somewhere, right? Like, you might have an interest that you think is, you're really into it, but you don't know that you're good enough to make it and share it, right? Like, and like I'm saying with this example earlier of the music, my early music was awful, dude. Like, it was so bad. And, you know, I don't think that I'm like Hans Zimmer now, but, you know, years and years later, as you improve and you learn new things and you research and whatnot, you become better. And now, at least personally, I feel like, okay, yeah, I could maybe hold my own and make my own content that people enjoy. And, you know, clearly people have been responding well to that in the comments. So I would just encourage you, if you have an interest, to simultaneously look into doing it, of course, and sharing it, but also don't be too hard on yourself and think that, oh, I'm never going to be good enough to share this in a public way, right? Like, everyone has their terrible era, like when they first start out and they're bad, you know? Like, dude, my first videos, the videos I ever made, you know, years ago on other channels were terrible, but they just, you have to start somewhere, right? So I hope that helps someone. You know, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to preach too hard. I just want to encourage people to follow what they want and their passions. But yeah, if you got anything out of that, just let me know, because my whole goal with this channel really is just to share some thoughts that are impactful to some people. That's all I really wanted to do. And I also wanted to make more of a casual talking video, because it had been a while since I'd made one, and the channel has been blowing up. And last time I made a video, I think I had like 50 subscribers. Like the last time I made a casual talking video, and now we have like 3,600. I mean, Tommy Innit watched my video on stream. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, I've been reading so many nice comments, and I read every single one of them. So I really do appreciate the ones of you that spend the time to go out of your way to do that. So yeah, I just hope you guys got something out of it, and I'll catch you later.